And we are live. Hey everyone, welcome for another episode of the Puppet Podcast. I'm so glad that we are at episode 73. That's amazing. We are in quite of an adventure with this, and we connect with even more and more puppeteers. So yeah, that's lovely to just reach out, build this network. And when I'm talking about network, I want to talk about the Patreon. So we have those new banners that I create with Eli. And yes, we have this workshop who is coming pretty soon. It's actually on November 7th. So feel free to have more info. Just click in the link below. It's the streaming. You know, in this weird time, we question how to do our job, maybe online. What is this live streaming stuff? So we have Tom Knight, who done some song and he sing online, and he's doing quite of a good job with live streaming. So he will show us his setup, how we do it, and it's really hands-on workshop. So I invite everyone to join us to this wonderful workshop. So it's not this weekend, it's Halloween, the other one. And I'm so excited because I tried to put together a podcast for Halloween. So all the puppeteers who have done some Halloween stuff, maybe some, puppet could be scary sometimes. So we just fall into it and have a podcast about Halloween puppetry. So yeah, that will come by the end of the week. So stay tuned. And tonight it's afternoon here. It's almost night over there. He's a Canadian who live in London. And he accepted to be part of the show. We have a book. So please, everyone, welcome into the screen, Mr. Ronnie Le Drew.
Hello.
It's so cool to make it like really, ta-da, even we are in
great for me as well.
so long distance, but we are together in this. So cool. Thank you to be there.
Thank you. Oh, it's a pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, I saw quite of your work. I look at a documentary about your career. So maybe you can introduce yourself, you as a puppeteer, your way into puppetry, to the audience who are watching and maybe know you, maybe not. Let's see.
Okay. Well, I'm Ronnie Le Drew. I've been a puppeteer since the age of 15. That's when I started professionally. I started actually in school and where I worked in or lived in South London. But I started at the Little Angel Theatre, which is a really famous puppet theatre in London. And I'm still continuing to work there. So it's over 55 years. I'm very old. And I've joined lots of different puppet organizations when I was young to try and learn about it. I was just fascinated to be a puppeteer and still am. I mean, you learn every day. You don't stop learning. So is that a good enough introduction?
Yes. Yes. Oh, and you're from Toronto. You're born there. You live quite early in Canada, but I'm so happy to have another Canadian in the show.
It's a pleasure to talk to a fellow Canadian. I mean, this is really nice. No, I was born there in Toronto, as you say. Age 3, we came over. My parents, or my father really, decided that he wanted an English degree. He already got a Canadian degree, and so he thought, let's pack our bags and get. And those days it had to be on a boat, so we went across on the boat, and in fact, when we've stayed here ever since, really. But in a way, it's been a great time for me because I was able to do puppetry. So.
Yes, totally. And London is quite of a legend for theater, and it's so cool. So are you ready now, Ronnie, for the deep question of the puppet?
The deep question. Okay, I'll try and answer your deep questions.
I always call them deep because it's why. And so the first, like, what makes the puppetry an art that you cherish?
So what do I cherish about puppetry? Well, basically, I think I've always loved puppetry. I don't know when I first saw a puppet show, probably on a television screen or something like that. But I just love the fact that puppetry has been around for generations. I mean, and all over the world. It's just fantastic. And so the fact that audiences have always enjoyed something about puppets. I mean, puppets, as I say, so I think for me personally, it's that I have a love of puppets. I like to share my love of puppets, and I've been very lucky to have done that, for many, many years. And that's what I cherish. The fact that I can still do it, I can still perform. The audiences love watching performances, and it actually covers all the arts. It covers painting, modeling, speaking, singing, music, and it's a lovely combination of all those arts. So I'm really quite lucky.
Yeah, I agree. That's an art who have them all. It's so
absolutely
true.
Yeah.
And I want to know your crush. I always, as you said, maybe a TV show, but maybe your adventure at Little Angel Theatre.
I think probably that was, again, aged about just at 15, I was taken to see a performance at the Little Angel Theatre. It was the Little Mermaid, and it's the Hans Andersen story. And it was a marionette show. John Wright, who was the founder director, sadly died in 1991, but was an amazing personality. He carved these wonderful figures. He's quite famous in the puppetry world as a wonderful carver and manipulator of puppets as well. Anyway, this show I thought was just perfect. I'd never seen a show like it. If you can imagine, the curtain went up it was a proscenium art show, curtain went up, and there was a gauze down, and there was a little mermaid leaning her head against the figurehead rock. And then this beautiful Janáček music played, and the mermaid moved slowly away and swam round the rock. And then suddenly there was this storm all of a sudden, and bits of the ship from the up in the water there came down, and then in the end came down a prince, and she swam to the prince and said, "Oh my goodness, men can't live underwater." And so she swam up and waggled her tail and took him to the surface. And the story involved, I mean, it's a long story, but those images have stayed in my mind, well, for over 50 years. And I thought, this is the place I want to work in, this theatre. And so I asked John Wright, who, as I say, the founder director, and he, let me start there as an apprentice, John Wright's second apprentice. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, it's so cool to know the crush, but also the path. Like, in your opinion, what would be the best field of study to become a puppeteer?
Well, I mean, if you can join a puppet company, I mean, there's nothing better. And if you can be an apprentice, I mean, that's exciting, because when I started at the Little Angel, and I'm going to show you some pictures while I talk about it, if that's all right. Now, there, if everybody can see it, that's clear. That's John Wright there, standing up, and there's Lindy Wright, his wife, down below. Christopher Leith, who was also a wonderful puppeteer, a wonderful actress and also puppeteer, Joyce Wren, and another puppeteer who was John Wright's niece, Mary Kenny then, but Mary Edwards now, and the little lad at the bottom poking his head up is me, Ronnie Le Drew, age 15, and that's the Little Angel Theatre. But yes, I mean, it was a marvelous place to be. Now that's me. My first job was to be backstage moving the props. Now you're probably wondering, what am I doing with my mouth? I've got something in my mouth there, and it's a rubber tube. And basically, I had a cigarette. I never smoked. I inhaled this smoke and blew it down the rubber tube, to which it was affixed to a hole in the stage. And above the hole was the cauldron of the witch, the sea witch. And we had this lovely red light in the cauldron, and the cigarette smoke bellowed out, beautifully. And that was one of my first jobs, as well as sweeping up the auditorium after the show and bagging the pubs. There you are. There's the 15-year-old.
Wow.
And then I think I've got, now that's the proscenium arch. I'm going to look to see where the picture is.
Kind of inverted.
This way. Sorry, it's a bit crooked. I'm getting there now.
Yeah.
Can you see that picture now? That's the proscenium arch with the company standing outside. You see, it was like a letterbox.
Wow.
And there's some puppets behind, marionettes behind. Now, if I move up a little bit, that's me
up
on
there.
The bridge of the Puppet Theatre. This was the old bridge, the original bridge of the theatre. In 1968, I think it was, the theatre backstage area was sort of remodeled a bit, and we have a double bridge now and a lot more space. And then if I move up here, there's John Wright, Lindy and myself. I hope you can see that. Sorry, I can't see it very clearly, but I hope you can see it. That's
so you
Lindy.
indulge from the top.
Yeah, oh, right. Whoops. Oopsie. Sorry, I'm moving. There you are. Is that better?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll explain who they are. It's John Wright holding the witch from Rapunzel. There's me holding the prince. And, Lindy Wright holding the Rapunzel. I'm sorry, it's not terribly good. But what you have to do is buy my book. This is a promotional advert now. Sorry.
That's part of it.
Zippy and Me, which is available on the sort of Amazon and eBay, I'm sure, in Canada. Maybe some bookshops might have it. And it's my life story. So it's got all those pictures and lots, sorry, I'm doing it all wrong. There you are, lots and lots of writing and stuff. But I'd love you to buy it, everybody who's watching. It'd help me in my pension, when I get very old. No, but anyway, it's really, anyway, there you are. That's the promotion.
Yes, that's so perfect. That's the place to do it. And you were saying, about apprentice, to be with a mentor, to be with someone who have like the knowledge, and instead of a school or in your opinion.
I think sadly nowadays it's not, one's not able to do so much apprenticeships in puppetry, but there are schools, and the one school that I'd really recommend is the Curious School of Puppetry, and it's run by Sarah Wright, who just happens to be my goddaughter, but she's also John Wright's, the founder director of Little Angel's daughter. So, and she runs this amazing school. Basically, it's actually not just in one place. We had, I think, three years where we had the school in London, and we hired a huge hall and space, and there's something about, I think, about 18 students, something like that. And then we went to Edinburgh for the next year, and we had a space there. And last year we all went down to Cornwall, which was wonderful, and had a space there. So it's actually quite interesting. It's quite good that it moves around the country a bit. It gives a chance for people perhaps living in the various areas to come along and take part in a wonderful class. I mean, she has myself teaching marionettes, operating. I'm a puppeteer operator. I don't actually make puppets. I'm a bit unusual in that way. I've always used other people's puppets to manipulate. But anyway, so I teach that, but she has voice people, she has drama, she has Lindy Wright, who's absolutely wonderful, teaches drawing, and she's inspiring person, inspired me when I was a kid, and she's still at it, inspiring people. It's wonderful. And then there's actually other organizations that people might be interested in looking in if they come to the UK. There's the Puppeteers UK, which is an organization that you can go, it's on the way, it's a website, and you can find out about lots of British puppeteers. So if you're interested in wanting to meet up with them, you go onto that site and find, and I'm on there, but there's, lots of places. But there's also various organizations too. I mean, I'm going to give a shout out to the British Puppet and Model Theatre Guild, because that was the guild that I went to when I was a kid at 14, and inspired me to visit the Little Angel Theatre all those years ago. And believe it or not, I'm now president of the Puppet Guild. I mean, how lucky is that? And it's been wonderful. And they're a lovely group of people. There's old and young, and there's they're all masters. They're wonderful, and they've all got something to say and something to give to the organisation. It is a fee-paying organisation, but you get a fantastic magazine called the Puppet Master, which is absolutely beautiful. And then you get a newsletter bi-monthly, I think it is. So I recommend people to join that. It's a bit like Puppeteers of America, the same sort of those things, but it is the oldest organization, which is rather good. So I'm quite pleased to say that. Anyway, look, I've wittering on. I'm sure you've got another question to ask.
Yeah, but it's kind of great to promote also our guild. I have a meeting with mine just after our interview, so it's also good to be involved.
What guild is that? Tell me.
It's in Montreal area. It's the French. It's AQM. It's AQM. So Association of Quebec Marionnettiste.
Oh,
So,
excellent.
and we are part of Unima also.
Oh,
so,
lovely. Yes. Well,
so
we
the
are too. I'm a member of
international.
Unimar. Yeah, yeah.
So
Excellent. That's wonderful. Excellent.
Yeah, so we have this in common. So people who are watching, just feel free to reach out to us so we can direct you to your guild and just
Definitely. Wonderful. Wonderful.
get involved into the field. And I want to go into the next question with the definition. What is your own definition of a puppet?
Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to start by saying a puppeteer doesn't use his own body to perform a character, but uses an inanimate object made out of wood or plastic to perform to an audience who, when watching the puppeteer's skills, hopefully is captivated by the character that he or she is conveying. And so I think that's my definition. Is that clear enough? I hope.
That's perfect.
I wrote it down, everybody.
Yeah, because we could put all of those together and have the definition of everyone. So that's so cool. And I want to know if you feel our art going more popular, less, like, do you feel we are reaching more people? What do you feel the ascension of puppetry?
I do, actually. I mean, I have to say, I started many, many years ago. And in a way, puppetry then was still, although a lot of puppeteers were trying to reach out, for instance, to adult audiences, it was mostly children-based. You know, there wasn't shows really that much for adults. Or, as I said, although they did, I mean, for instance, John Wright always did shows for the family, which included stuff in for the adults too, which, and I think a lot of other puppeteers did and tried, but there just wasn't the sort of, I don't know, people always thought, oh, puppets, well, that's Punch and Judy, nothing wrong with Punch and Judy, or it's just for children. And then a few years ago, there's been a great renaissance, I suppose is the right word. And we've had shows like Warhorse, we've had shows like Avenue Q, we've had the English National Opera doing Madame Butterfly with wonderful puppet in there, the little boy of Madame Butterfly. We've had the Royal Opera House, Covent Garden using puppets. And we've suddenly, I think, what I'm going to call the sort of legitimate theatre has realised that puppetry has got something to add to what they do on stage. It's something like you have wonderful lighting, you have wonderful music, you have wonderful actors, but you can actually have wonderful puppets too, and they can add to the story. I mean, another show I should have mentioned was, of course, is Lion King, which came over, wonderful Julie Taymor with amazing designs. I think that sort of blew the West End theatre sort of producers and people. They thought, oh my goodness, this is really good. And eventually, you know, things like Warhorse have turned up and just, you know, exploded the myth that puppets aren't just for children, they're for everybody. So yeah, we're in a good space, although sadly with COVID, it's all a bit down at the moment. There's not much going on as far as performances, but hopefully next year it'll all rise up again and we'll all start performing and everything will be fine.
Yeah, we would have time to create more different object maybe, and you will see new kind of puppets coming.
Absolutely. I think that's definitely going to happen. Yeah. A lot of people are, actually. It's wonderful. In fact, like we're doing here online, a lot of people are producing stuff online and keeping the art of puppetry, like yourself, you know, alive for people, you know, all over the world, which is wonderful. So it's been good.
We can learn from the online platform and share knowledge and just be in touch, build the network.
Absolutely, definitely.
And this is bring me the next one. So I want to ask you your biggest purpose for the future. It's I always ask the question, like the vision of the future, or for you have maybe other purpose you want to achieve. So,
well, me personally, I think I'm going to carry on teaching and performing as long as I can. And so that's my personal purpose. I might even have a volume 2, second advert for the book. You never know. I don't know. But no, I think really it's been a good few years, these last few years of, and I'm hoping my purpose, I suppose, is to keep promoting puppetry, keeping it modern, keeping it fresh, inspiring young people with their wonderful new ideas. You know, there's some fantastic ideas out there, and they just need a little bit of help from us oldie people, to give them inspiration and to give them sort of their knowledge, you know, and they'll continue and keep the puppetry moving. I don't think it's going to stop. I think it's, you know, we're in a good place. And so hopefully that would be my aim, really, is to keep the wonderful art of puppetry alive.
Yeah. And that's why you are president of the guild. You contribute by this too.
Indeed. Yes, thank you for that. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing things.
Yeah.
It's by being there. And where do you see puppetry in 10 years?
Wow. Well, I'm hoping, I mean, wouldn't it be wonderful? I'd like to see many new companies doing, you know, fantastic work. There's a whole lot of new ones. I mean, people are beginning to sort of emerge and start stuff. And also, wouldn't it be lovely to have a few more theatres around? We've got 3, I think, theatres in this country that are sort of working more or less full time. We've got the Little Angel, we've got Polka Theatre, and we've got the Harlequin Theatre in North Wales, and we've got Up Front in Cumbria, I think it is. Oh, I always get that wrong, but up in the north somewhere. And I think the more theatres, the more performances we can give and have, the audiences will just I'm sure they'll lap it up. They lap up puppetry, and it has to be good puppetry. It can't be just what we call dolly waggling. It's got to be stuck with a good content, good writing. And I think there are writers out there too who would like to write for puppetry too, but obviously they want to know, you know, where they start from and what they want to see, something to inspire them. And so we've got, as puppeteers, we've got to keep inspiring these wonderful writers to write for us. So yeah, I think that would be the answer to your question, I think.
Yes, and that's so cool. You bring the writing. It's coming in the few episodes I've done recently. People talk more about writing and how it's important to have more stuff.
Oh no, definitely. It's something that in a way, sometimes, you know, puppeteers by nature are creators. They create, they carve, they sew, they, you know, build these things, and sometimes they're not the greatest writers. So it's quite nice to have somebody who can see what they're building and see the shape and help, you know, contribute with the words. I mean, we don't need to have words. I'd quite like to have composers as well. I mean, let's have everybody joining in, designers, but no, I mean, have some, you know, have some writers, have some composers, have some wonderful, you know, modern, interesting new music to work for. I mean, I think it's very much, puppetry is a collaboration with all these people, and the more we can collaborate is the exciting thing and good for the future.
Yes, it's such a wonderful wish. I want to write it down on the wall, like, let's be all together.
Oh, thank you. Well, you have my permission to do so. Paint it all over the walls.
Yeah, the online walls all over.
That's it. Yeah.
That's so cool. And for the conclusion, I always ask if you have a puppet on your side you want to bring.
I suppose I better start with the puppet that the English people are quite well, you know, quite like. And here we are, English. Look in the proper way. Oh, hello. This is Zippy from Rainbow here. I'm only a little one, but you see, I'm quite big, and I've filled the screen if my big version was there. I hope you could see me all right.
Yes.
Oh, hello, Caroline. Oh, I've just recognised you. Yes. You're on the other half of the screen. It's quite interesting. Anyway, I'm going to go and introduce another friend. Hold on. He's got to go off because there is an old friend of mine that I've had for a very long time. But he doesn't like being called old. Oh, hello, everybody. I'm the Dodo Bird. Caroline, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm very English, you know. I'm the oldest bird alive today. Everybody thought I died out, but no. I'm over 100 years old. It's very exciting being here. Do you know, I'm talking to Canada, Montreal. Parlez-vous français? No, you don't speak French. Go off you go, Dodo. Sorry about that. And the last puppet to show you is a little beaver puppet that I really love. And it was made by a dear friend, Phil Fletcher. Oh, hi there. I'm the beaver. Oh, my goodness, I'm speaking to the world. How lovely. Thank you. Oh, there's Caroline. I hope I'm looking at you. I think that, no, I'm not. There you are. Sorry, I got the wrong position. I'm not used to this work. Oh, it's lovely to see you.
It's lovely.
Anyway.
The beaver, Canadian, you're not the Canadian beaver, but you.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm actually American, I'm afraid. I moved. We emigrated to America. It's not as nice as Canada, though. Sorry. Oh, hi there, people.
Yeah.
I better go. My goodness, those characters, they're a bit over the top. There you go.
That's why we love them. They are just
thank you.
I'm smiling all the time. This is the part of the show. I'm just like, I have attention all over. It's so cool.
Well, that's lovely. That's lovely. So there you are. You're a perfect audience for puppetry. So this is it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so great to have you again. So if people want to see more of your work and be in touch and what they can do, where they can find you.
Well, I have a web page, and it's I hope I get this right, www.ronnieledrew.com. That's my web page. Now, it's a bit old, I'm afraid, but it's got a whole list of things I've done we've not talked about. And, I mean, at 55 years, there's lots. But there's also, you can find me on Facebook, you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter. I'm called Punch and on Twitter. Don't ask me why, but that's the name. So I'm on there. And you can contact me through the British Puppet and Model Theatre Guild as well. The Little Angel Theatre know me. I'm a bit well known really in the English puppetry world. So if you just Google Ronnie Le Drew, you'll come across all sorts of interesting pictures and information. There is a little documentary, a mini documentary about my life on YouTube called My Life with Puppets. And that's, I think it's 20 minutes or something. And that will give you quite a lot of information about what I've done and all the rest of it. But hopefully that will solve a few questions.
Yes, and I just forget to watch the chat because when we are talking, people could chat with us, and people have some question also. So I think I will bring some question. We have Philip Swain who said some great. He was really active. I didn't saw it before, but let's bring a question about here. We have. Someone wants to know more about those organizations, those guilds.
Right.
And maybe we have a list at some point, or
maybe I can give you, and you can put them on your page or something. The email addresses, but there's the Puppeteers UK, and that's www.puppeteersuk.com is the you go on to that and you'll get that's that organization. And the British Puppet and Model Theatre Guild, I always forget their email, which is they're going to tell me off, but I think it's something like www.britishpuppetguild.com, but I might be wrong. But look up British Puppet Guild on Google and I'm sure you'll get it. What else? There's the Little Angel Theatre is info@littleangeltheatre.com. There's the Norwich Puppet Theatre. They have an email. Again, Google Norwich Puppet Theatre. You'll be able to get their information.
We have also
in my head. That's about all I can think of.
But it's great. I think people could find from there. All of those links are connected. Like you find one and they have the address of the other. And we have also Delvin who asked if you do some training in the UK.
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, I do personal training. People come to my house when they're allowed to. At the moment, it's all a bit closed. But people, for individual training. But I also teach with the Curious Puppet School. I teach at the Little Angel Theatre, the foundation course. I teach wherever anybody asks me to. I've taught at the Norwich Puppet Theatre. So I do go around, as a guest, usually a guest tutor for odd occasions and stuff. So yes, and I'd be very happy to come to Canada, to Montreal, and well, anywhere in the world, if anybody wants me to give some lessons, I'll be very, I'm very cheap. No, I shouldn't say that. I'm terribly expensive.
Let's see. Maybe we will find found somewhere to have you part of coming back to your old roots.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, lovely. We have Dave who put actually the address.
Dave,
so.
Brilliant, Dave. There you go.
Thank you so much.
www.britishpuppetguild.org.uk. That's the Puppet Guild's. Thank you, Dave. That's the Puppet Guild's website, and you'll get all the information there.
Yeah, and we have Joe who said he just finished reading your book today.
Oh, wonderful. And hello, Joe. I know Joe, actually. He's one of my students, which is wonderful. How nice. They're all people I know. That's lovely.
Yeah, they are watching. And we have Philip who asked, what about George? He was saying like Zippy, but...
You're quite right. George is around, but he's actually... sadly, I'm going to say being refurbished. But he talks like that, George, and he's his Zippy's little friend. Anyway, that's George. He is around. He will come back soon, but he's being refurbished. Hence, I haven't shown you on the podcast.
Not a problem, but maybe you have some new client like for personal training here.
Well, how wonderful! Yes, they can all email me. You can find it on Google, so that'll be fine. Sorry, there was a question then. I missed it. I'm afraid. I don't know. Was there another one that popped up?
No, it was just like. Yeah, I think I have everything. So if I haven't, AQM, I just see that people was talking to us during also the interview. So that's so cool, everyone. You can write to us where you are watching all the time. It's always fun to see for Ronnie and me to see where was the audience. So cool. So yeah, Ronnie, thank you so much for your time and your wonderful, like as Delvin was saying, you are a legend. So that's an honor to meet you.
That's nice. Thank you. Yes, well, it's been an absolute pleasure. You're delightful to talk to, and I hope that people found it interesting to listen to us chat about the wonderful world of puppetry.
Yes, thank you so much. So stay in the virtual studio. We can chat after this.
Okay.
I will just do the little conclusion. So I push you out of the screen like puppetry, bye. Woohoo! Hey! That's so cool, everyone, to be in touch with all of those great legends of puppetry. So yeah, stay tuned. We have another episode on Wednesday with someone from the area, English Canadian. I meet new people all over. So that's so cool. And feel free to have a look on our Patreon also. This community that we want to put together and share this knowledge. So we take puppeteers and they do online workshop for the community. So that's really cool. And it's $7. So you have this and all the past workshop that we have done about a lot of stuff. We will see a little promo coming soon. So yeah, it's in November 7. It will be awesome. So feel free to join us. Yeah, I saw some friend right there. Kenny Soyan was there just earlier. Yeah, thank you, Philip. Great interview. Thank you, Dave. I'm so happy to give this to people, and it's such a pleasure to meet everyone. So have a nice evening, morning, wherever you are in the world right now. And feel free to watch the Patreon and see us in another episode. So bye.